We had the much anticipated Saturn and Neptune conjunction last weekend, and we had that big solar eclipse in Aquarius. Yeah, I think that the feeling is the cost of the new you is the old you. And it could be that simple. It could be that simple. So for me, these two planets are trining my 12th house. I have a stellium in the 12th house. And so I actually have been doing a lot of sort of inner work, psychospiritual, shadow work, and I'm just creating a lot of space there for all the parts of me that want to express and be and kind of get their testimonies in to this next stage that I'm moving into. And it's a very quiet, solitary space. And I think that's what's needed when we go through an individuation process, right? So that's essentially what going through the alchemical process is in Jungian terms. So yeah. And I've always been really interested in this space. The mysticism that I'm interested in, it's all about the inner transformation, right? To actually touch the essence of ourself and our being. So Saturn and Neptune coming together is about a new consciousness, right? It's about a new container, right? With this Aquarius solar eclipse, consciousness is looking for new containers. And this actually comes from this teaching, well, Jesus. This is the Jesus moment of the video, okay? His first miracle was turning water into wine. And I think that this is also another theme with the Saturn-Neptune here and this recent Aquarius eclipse, is the old rituals are being replaced by new ones. We are literally smashing the old rituals, right? The old rituals are turning away and not looking to see truth, right? Because we just feel that things will never change. So we become compliant and apathetic, right? But this Neptune and Saturn energy is like, no, actually there is a better way. We know now how to adjust ourselves in order to create that reality that makes more fucking sense, and that's actually in service, in acknowledgement of our humanity and our shared humanity. What I like about Jung is he talks about the 2 million year old man within all of us, right? The collective consciousness that we contain the knowledge, the instinct, the wisdom of 2 million years, because it's in our DNA, it's within us. We can tap into this, and perhaps actually we can not so much go into the future, because again, Saturn being the ancient ruler is actually looking at the ancient future. The future has something ancient in it, that there could have been another time, right, where things, I'll say, were in better balance, right, with the masculine and feminine energies. And of course, we know that this is beyond, the biological. We have the masculine and feminine within us, and we could even say that perhaps the sickness of our culture and society is this lack of feminine, the feminine spirituality, the divine feminine within all of us is hurting, is in pain, and quite frankly is in grief. And I think that collectively we can all feel this grief. So now there's a new context. We have a new container. We have a new context to see beyond the current moment now, or the current moment that we are leaving, and we are on a threshold, right? We're on a threshold into a new ideal, Neptune, right? So for all the people that are into astrology, you probably know about the historical significance of these two planets coming together, the Berlin Wall coming down, the American Civil War. So a lot of things that we're moving out of old consciousness into new consciousness, the old going into the new, in this idealized state, in this state of, in the sign of Aries, there is a very sharp blade here. There's a very sharp blade. So we could be feeling this personally, right, in our individuation process. And also, I think that we're all getting a really palpable feel of it happening on a collective sense. So I'm speaking about the feminine because it is something that I hold really dear to my own personal journey as I've been healing my inner feminine and masculine. You know, here we are talking about Jung, right? That Venus, this is amazing. Venus is actually moving into her into visibility. So it's been storming here on the northeast US and New Jersey. So the night sky has not been clear. So I haven't gotten a chance to see her in the night sky. She'll be very low on the horizon, but she will be appearing as the evening star. So I think it's a great sign and omen of what's to come. That the sense of effulgent glory and, dare I say it, justice. So as this Adonic cycle is happening, it started in Aries, and which is so much about the fighting spirit, and Venus has been transversing the sign of Aries for quite some time. Will be moving into the sign of Pisces, a place where she's exalted in these last, I don't know, almost 100 years probably at this point, because she's almost done with the Aries petal, star point. So much has happened with the balancing of the masculine and feminine. There's been so much justice that has been had, and I'm just hoping that this is the pinnacle of the darkness of it, where we can be really motivated and inspired to really commit to balancing the separation of the feminine and masculine within us without honoring the feminine. So the starting of this moon cycle with this Aquarius solar eclipse was also the peak of Imbolc, lunar Imbolc, as the moon was in the sign of Aquarius. So I did mention this in the full moon of Leo, that it was the start of Imbolc. And the pagans actually measure their high holy days based on the lunar cycle, right? So very much like the Chinese New Year, right? It's never going to be on the same day because it's based on the new moons, right? The new moon in Aquarius. So there is this strong energy and energetic of the midwife here. Right before this Saturn-Neptune conjunction, there was this eclipse at the height of Imbolc. And so there was such a strong imprint of the midwife. And I just feel, again, this idea of new containers, new consciousness, that the midwife is here for us to really urge us to be in this grief, right? So we are really in a place, again, a threshold where we're no longer there, but we are also neither in this new place. So I just wanted to leave you with this message to really honor this quiet space, to nurture yourself, to allow yourself to feel all things, right? Because that's essentially what you're doing, creating the space for all parts of you. And if we're thinking about this individually, and this alchemical process that Jung, speaks of, we're creating the space for all versions of ourselves. And classically speaking about shadow work, make friends. But ultimately, what could be happening is that we're actually reaching our essence, and we're reaching a self, the bigger self, the one that extends farther beyond this self, Neptune. But there's so much coming our way where we can live out this individuated self, this truer self, this realer self. And with that, I am hopeful. And with that, I hope you're all moving through the energies with much love and ease and grace, and sending a prayer to all those suffering sending prayers for the healing of all sentient beings that could be going through pain, suffering, and knowing that as we do take this moment to say that prayer for the healing of all sentient beings, of humanity, we also are receiving this blessing for ourselves as we move through our own grieving process and our own trauma and pain. And with that, so be it, and blessed be. Sending you much love, and see you next time.